Hey everybody, it's great to have you here and welcome to the show where we delve into the unsettling and the unexplainable. Today, we're talking about objects with a bit of a reputation, the kind of thing your weird aunt warns you about at family gatherings. Welcome to a journey through the eerie and spine-chilling history of cursed objects. These items have left a trail of misfortune and mystery in their wake. From glittering jewels to unassuming furniture, these objects are shrouded in tales of tragedy, misfortune, and unexplained phenomena. Some dismiss these stories as mere superstition, but others believe there's something more sinister at play. Are these objects truly cursed, imbued with a malevolent energy, or are they simply caught in the crosshairs of coincidence and human storytelling? Let's investigate. All right, let's kick things off with a real crowd pleaser, the Hope Diamond. This thing's got more stories than a used bookstore, and they're all more tragic than the last. This isn't your average rock, folks. This dazzling blue gem is a 45.52 carat behemoth, and it's been linked to some seriously bad juju. Legend has it that the Hope Diamond was once the eye of a Hindu idol, ripped away by a thief who suffered a gruesome fate. And that's just the beginning. Over the centuries, this gem has passed through the hands of kings, queens, bankers, heiresses, and each owner seems to have met with some unfortunate end. We're talking bankruptcy. We're talking accidental deaths. We're talking straight-up murder. A coincidence, maybe, but the sheer number of tragedies associated with this diamond is enough to make even the biggest skeptic raise an eyebrow. I mean, you'd think people would learn to just, not touch the thing, but no, it currently resides at the Smithsonian Institution in Washington, D.C., still attracting visitors and fueling the legend of its curse. So, is it all just a bunch of spooky stories, or is there something more to this diamond than meets the eye? I'm not saying I believe it, but I'm also not saying I'd want to wear it. All right, buckle up, because we're about to dive into the story of the Dybbuk box, and let me tell you, this one's a doozy. Imagine, if you will, a vintage wine cabinet, the kind your grandma might have in her basement. Seems harmless enough, right? Wrong. This particular cabinet is said to be haunted by a Dybbuk, which in Jewish folklore is basically a restless, malicious spirit that can possess the living. The story goes that this box was owned by a Holocaust survivor who accidentally trapped the Dybbuk inside. Since then, the box has been bought and sold, each new owner experiencing a string of bizarre and terrifying events. We're talking nightmares, strange smells, disembodied voices, the whole 9 yards. Some people even claim to have been physically attacked by the Dybbuk. The box eventually gained notoriety after appearing on eBay, because where else would you sell a haunted object? It's said to be currently owned by paranormal investigator Zach Bagans, who keeps it safely locked away, hopefully in a soundproof room. So, is this box really a portal to another realm, home to a malevolent entity just waiting to wreak havoc? Or is it just a creepy antique that sparked one elaborate urban legend? Whatever the case may be, I'm not planning on adding vintage wine cabinet to my shopping list anytime soon. Let's talk about art, specifically art that could potentially burn your house down. I'm talking about the Crying Boy paintings. These mass-produced prints depicting, you guessed it, a crying boy were popular in the UK back in the mid-20th century, but their popularity took a turn for the sinister when a string of house fires broke out, seemingly linked to these paintings. The weird part? The paintings always seemed to survive the blazes unscathed, while everything around them was reduced to ashes. Spooky, right? Newspapers caught wind of this and ran with it, reporting on the curse of the crying boy and fueling a nationwide panic. People were literally throwing these paintings out of windows, burning them in bonfires, anything to get rid of them. Was it mass hysteria, a bizarre coincidence? Or was there something more to this art-related arson? Some theories suggest that the paintings were treated with a fire-retardant varnish, which would explain why they survived the flames. Others believe that the paintings were cursed, imbued with some kind of negative energy that attracted misfortune. Whatever the explanation, the legend of the Crying Boy paintings remains a fascinating example of how quickly fear and superstition can spread. Now, I'm a big fan of furniture with a story, but this next item is taking it a bit too far. Folks, let me introduce you to the Busby Stoop chair, and let me tell you, you won't want to pull up a seat to this tale. We're talking about a seemingly ordinary oak chair residing in a pub in Thirsk, England. But don't let its unassuming appearance fool you. This chair has a reputation, a killer reputation. Legend has it that the chair is cursed by the ghost of Thomas Busby, a man who was hanged for murder back in the 18th century. His crime, he strangled his father-in-law after catching him sitting in his favorite chair. And so the curse was born. It's said that anyone who sits in the Busby stoop chair will die shortly after. And before you dismiss it as an old wives' tale, there have been a surprising number of deaths linked to the chair over the years. We're talking dozens of people, from W-2 pilots to construction workers, all meeting untimely ends after a brief encounter with this cursed seat. The pub landlord, understandably freaked out, eventually moved the chair to the basement, where it remains on permanent display, a chilling reminder that sometimes it's best to stand up for what you believe in. All right, let's wrap things up with a classic, Annabelle the doll, because nothing says sweet dreams like a haunted Raggedy Ann. This is the kind of story that makes you want to sleep with the lights on and double-check your closets. Annabelle's story starts in the 1970s when a nursing student received her as a gift. Seems innocent enough, right? Wrong. It didn't take long for things to take a turn for the creepy. The doll started moving on its own, changing positions, even leaving cryptic notes. Then things escalated. The student and her roommate reported feeling a presence in their apartment, and a friend claimed to have been attacked by the doll, waking up to find himself choked and covered in scratches. Enter Ed and Lorraine Warren, the famous paranormal investigators. They determined that the doll wasn't possessed by a child, as they initially suspected, but by a demon. Annabelle now resides in the Warrens Occult Museum, locked away in a glass case with a sign that reads, "Warning positively, do not touch." And you know what? I'm going to take their word for it. So, there you have it, a glimpse into the world of cursed objects. Are these items truly cursed, or are they simply vessels for our fears and superstitions? These cursed objects remind us that sometimes the most ordinary items can hold the darkest secrets. Whether you believe in curses or chalk it up to coincidence, there's no denying that these objects have left their mark on history and continue to fascinate and frighten us to this day. Stay curious and stay safe.